Hello, my name is Ioannis. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a simple elevator by using Construct 2. So let's open a previous project that I was working on, so the Pickable project. Let's go to the layout. So what we will need to do, we need to create a little elevator here. I'm just going to put my portion higher up, so there's only one way for the player to reach to this portion, is by using the elevator. So in order for me to do this, I need to add 3 different sprites. The first one, so I'm going to right click, insert a new object. The first sprite will be SPR elevator, underscore elevator. Click insert. I'm going to change the height by selecting this option here. I'm going to select the height to 20. I'm going to change the fill color to, let's select this color here. Click OK. So this will be my elevator. So let's reduce the size slightly. I will do. Let's put this there. Now, the next thing I need to do is make sure that this platform, this elevator, is set to solid. So I'm going to, with this selected, I'm going to the behavior and apply solid behavior. Okay, by selecting the plus icon, I select the solid behavior. The next thing I need to do is add another, so right click, add another object, so insert new object. The object again will be a sprite object, and I'm going to call it SPR underscore switch. Click insert. Now my switch will be, I'm just going to design a switch. You can download some images that you can work on the Illustrator or another software to actually create a switch. So in this, for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to create a simple switch here, Construct 2. I'm just going to change the size of my brush to 100. I'm just going to change the color to something like this. Click once, change the brush size to about 20. Change the color to this. And I'm just going to make it dark here. So this will be the handle. You can change the size to 1 and put some stripes here. Anyway, so that's my switch. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to crop my switch, and I'm going to go to the animation frame, right click and select duplicate. With the frame number 1 selected, I'm going to select the rectangle select tool, click and drag, and I'm going to select the mirror option to actually move the switch. So this is the switch going down, and this is the switch going up. So 0 and 1. Let's exit that. Let's bring this a bit smaller. Now, the next thing I need to do is put a stop. So I'm just going to put some bars here to reach to the max movement. So as the elevator goes up, I want the elevator to stop somewhere here. So I need to add an object for that. So I'm going to right click, insert a new object, a sprite object, and I'm just going to call it SPR underscore elevator underscore stop. Click insert. I'm just going to change the size of this object, this sprite. I'm going to change the height to 20. Leave the width, let's make the width 100. This will do. Now I'm going to change the fill color to something bright. It doesn't really matter what color will be, because we're going to make it, it's going to be hidden. This object, this sprite will be hidden. So I want my elevator to reach to here, and I'm going to click with this object selected, with this sprite selected. I'm going to click on the instance variable section, and I'm going to add an instance variable. So I'm going to call it fixed, and the type will be text, and the initial value will be fixed. Okay. Now I'm gonna right click, copy this sprite, right click, paste it there. I'm just gonna put it here. So this is the lowest part I want my elevator to reach. As you can see, because the same object, the instance variable is already there applied. The next thing we need to do is put an instance variable for the elevator. So the elevator selected, SPR elevator, I'm going to click on the instance variable and I'm going to type my elevator, and the type will be text and the initial value will be fixed. Click OK. OK. Now the next thing we need to do before we start putting some events is, let's exit that, we need to apply a pin behavior onto our switch. So we're going to select the switch, we're going to click on the behaviors, we're going to add a new behavior, a pin behavior, add. Let's exit that. Now the pin behavior will ensure that when the elevator goes up or down, the switch always stays on top of this platform. So it's basically it will always be in the same location. So let's get started with events. So let's click on the events. The first thing we need to do is add a system event to check, to make sure that on start of layout, the switch is pinned to an object, and the object is our elevator, SPR elevator. Done. So when the layout starts, the switch will be pinned to the elevator. The next action we need to do is a system action, and we want to make sure that on every tick we want to keep checking the position of the elevator. So here we need to right click. Bear in mind, if you right click here on the system, you will not be able to see the add option here. This is because you have not selected the full system every tick. So make sure the full system every tick option selected, event is selected, and then you will be able to see the add option here. We are going to add a sub event, and the sub event is the elevator, so SPR elevator, and we basically going to compare the instance variable. So the instance variable, my elevator, is equals to, and I'm going to put in quotes, up, click done. I'm going to follow the same process. I'm going to right click here on every tick. I'm going to add a sub event. Again, the sub event will be my SPR elevator, and compare the instances. My elevator is, I'll send the value to down in quotes. So when it's going up, I want something to happen. When it's going down, when I call down, I want something to happen. So when it's up, I want to add an action, and the action is my elevator set the Y value. So you can start typing here. Oops. Set the Y value to be SPR elevator dot Y, the Y value, it's going to be -2. Click done. When the SPR elevator is on down position, I'm going to add another action. So I'm going to say SPR elevator set Y value. So SPR elevator set dot Y value is +2. So it's going to go down. So -2 is going up, +2 is going down. This will take place in every tick. The next thing I need to do is I want to make sure that when my object is collide, so I'm going to put an event and I will say SPR elevator stop on collision with another object, and the object will be my elevator. I want something to happen, and what I want to happen is I want a system event, I want the elevator set elevator, set value to fixed. Done. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that. So when my SPR elevator stop is collide with another object, and the other object is my SPR elevator, I want the set value for the my elevator to be set to fixed. Next, what we need to do now, we need to put some events when the mouse is clicked, when the user, when the player is overlapping with their object. I want the elevator to go up, or I want the elevator to go down. How do we do this? Before we do that, before we apply the event, we need to go back to the layout, and we need to right click and insert a new object. This new object will be on an input object, and it's going to be on mouse. Let's click insert. So we can see here on the projects and under the object types, we can actually see now the mouse. Let's go back to the events. So now we're going to add an event. The event is on mouse. We're going to double click on mouse click. I want something to happen. So the mouse click, it's going to be a left click. I want something to happen. But I want to also a couple of the things to be in place for this to happen. I'm going to right click here. I'm going to add a new condition. So add another condition. The condition will be my SPR player is overlapping with another object, and the other object my player is lapping is my SPR switch. Done. Then at the same time, while my player is overlapping and while the end user try to click on the mouse, on the left mouse, I want to check for a couple more things. The first thing I need to check, so I'm going to right click here, add another condition. The next thing I want to check is that my elevator is set, so compare instances, is set to fixed. Because if my elevator is not set to fixed, I don't want to do anything. Now, then, what I want to do, I need to add a final, let's click here, a final condition that will check that my switch frame, compare frame, is equals to 1. Okay. Now, if the user clicks on the mouse and as long as the player is overlapping with the switch, and as long as my elevator is on a fixed position, basically stopped, and the sprite switch, the frame is set to 1, so it's already up, I want to bring my lift down. So I'm going to add the condition, and the condition will be set the animation for the switch. So set the frame or set the animation, set the frame for the switch to 0. So it's pointing to the left. Remember, 0 points to the left, 1 points to the right. If it points to the right, we're going up. If it points to the left, we're going down. So as we're going down now here, we're going to put another action, and the action will be my SPR elevator, and then I'm going to set value, and the value for the elevator, it's going to be set to down in quotes. Now, remember, if you put down before with an uppercase, you need to put here the down with uppercase here. So I've used the lowercase before, as you can see here. Let's click on down. Now, the final thing we need to do now, we need to highlight all these events, sub-events, sub-conditions, sorry. We're going to right-click copy, and then click here, and then Control-V to paste. And the only thing I need to change here is the SPR switch, the animation frame. As long as the animation frame is on 0, I want my animation frame here to go to 1, So it's pointing to the right, and instead of down, I want this to go up. Click done. So let's test what we just done. Let's run. Okay, so here's the player. Okay, we can make this disappear as well. Let's make this invisible. So let's go to the layout. It's going to change the value, the visibility. So initial visibility, I'm going to make it invisible. I'm going to make this invisible as well. Let's try again. Okay, if my player, my magpie, is not overlapping with the switch, I'm just going to click here. Nothing happens. But if I overlap, my magpie overlaps my switch. If I click now, as you can see, is going down because the original position was up. So I can go there, and then I can go down. Now if I refresh here again, I'll show you again. By default, it's going up. So let's fix that. Let's double click here, our sprite. As you can see here, it shows that it's going down. But when we run it, it shows that it's going up. And the reason for this is because if we double click here, the speed of the frame is set to 5. So let's change that to 0. And let's exit that, and let's run it. Let's go back here. Let's close. I think I've got 2 windows here. Let's refresh. Okay. So let's try again. As you can see now, the position is going down. So if I overlap, if I don't overlap and click, nothing happens. If I overlap, I'm going up. If I don't overlap, this switch is not working. If I overlap, I'm going down. Now, because my magpie is behind the switch, if I want to bring it in front of the switch, let's go back to our game. I'm going to right click on my magpie, Mr. Peekaboo, right click, change the Z order, send to top of the layer. So if we press play again, and we'll test it. As you can see now, Mr. Peekaboo is in front of the switch. And because I'm overlapping, I can go up. And because I'm overlapping, I can go down. Let's pick up the life. I can go down. Okay, this is how you create a simple elevator by using Construct 2. Hope you've learned something new today. Thank you for watching.